At 7:30 in the morning, our doorbell rang. Linda looked out the window and she said, "John, there's a soldier on the porch." And I knew then it was bad news.
And he said, "Are you Linda Johnson, mother of Private.LaVena Lynn Johnson?" And I said, "Yes, I am. What do you want?" And he said, "We regretfully inform you that your daughter, Private.LaVena Lynn Johnson, is dead." And I lost it.
He said, "I got the impression that they said LaVena committed suicide." I said, "Wait a minute. Shot in the head, committed suicide." He said, "Right." I said, "LaVena carried around an M16 rifle. How did she shoot herself in the head with it?"
Absolutely not. No way. My daughter did not do this to herself. So the battle began.
That's one of the tragic parts of this whole thing, that the military itself just assumes that the families are going to be compliant, that they aren't going to cause a ruckus, that they will just sit back and accept everything the military says to them in the military's own time. It's a horrible situation, and when families try to buck the system, they are met with, the full force of the military saying, "We can't give you anything unless you file the Freedom of Information Act, and if you don't name exactly what the document is, they won't give it to you."
When I had to go to the airport to get her body, I said, "Oh my God, I can't hardly take this. The last time I'm here, she's running with open arms. Hey, Mom!" And this time she's in a box with a flag draped. That was so horrible.
The next thing that actually happened was me receiving paperwork. And then I saw one of her face, and that just, I don't know what happened to me then. I closed it up. I went up in the bathroom, and I sit there, and I bet you I cried. I couldn't control myself. It took me a good hour, I think, to finally settle down. My heart was beating so hard. He said, "They murdered LaVena, man." He said, "And we can prove it using this paperwork." They have a torrid reputation when it comes to abuse of women in the military, and it needs to be dealt with. And they're not going to do that as long as they're covering up for people who did this to LaVena and Tina Priest and Deborah Boignac and Gloria Davis, and the list goes on and on and on.
It's such an emotional burden on the family that if they decide they want to pursue this, it's going to take every bit of energy and commitment that they can muster. And if they're not fully committed to it, it will drive them crazy. It will tear the family apart.
It was an April morning when workers exhumed Johnson's casket at Jefferson Barracks to continue the search for answers. Answers different from the ones Johnson's family has been getting from the military. And the message is now reaching to Congress, with support coming from the House and Senate.
We've got to find the truth about what happened to this young lady. Her family deserves that at a minimum, and we need to know in terms of keeping the armed services accountable.
And by the time everything was set up, her 20th birthday came, July 27th, and I was sitting in a cold funeral home looking at my baby's body and should be celebrating life. And I had to say goodbye to my baby, just a baby. She turned 20. And she didn't even get a chance to live.
My daughter was beaten, raped, murdered, set on fire, then tried to burn a tent down with her body in it. And your evidence says that. So it'd be a cold day in hell before I stop. And I mean that with all my heart. So how they gonna handle their end, that's gonna be up to them, because I ain't stopping. And anybody that's gonna help us get justice, I'm going to be right there telling this story.